everyone, and welcome to the SSPI Podcast by Space and Satellite Professionals International. I'm Tamara Bond-Williams, Executive Director of SSPI. This episode is part of our Space and Satellite Futures track, conversations with the people and organizations shaping the next generation of our industry. From workforce development to new markets, these are the stories about how the future of space and satellite is being built. Today, we're welcoming one of SSPI's newest corporate members, INTEGRASYS. INTEGRASYS is a technology company focused on software-defined systems for satellite communications, spectrum monitoring, and network management, serving commercial government and defense customers worldwide. As satellite operations become more complex and more contested, INTEGRASYS is focused on strengthening resilience, visibility, and control across satellite networks. Joining us today is Álvaro Sánchez, CEO of INTEGRASYS. Álvaro is also a 2022 SSPI 20 Under 35 honoree, and most recently, INTEGRASYS was recognized with the Better Satellite World Award for its Clean RF Interference Cancellation System. Today's conversation is about getting to know INTEGRASYS as a company, what problems it's focused on, and why it chose to step more fully into the SSPI community this year. Álvaro, welcome.
Thank you very much, Tamara. It's a great pleasure to be here.
I'm very, very happy to have you here, Álvaro. Let me just pause for a minute and just double check that I described INTEGRASYS well. Did I get that okay?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Yeah. So tell me, if members are hearing about INTEGRASYS for the first time, they say, didn't know about this company. What would you say about INTEGRASYS?
So I would say that we have been 35 years solving problems for our customers. Our customer sets have evolved our solution set as well. So now we started in 1990 when some engineers, including my father, spin off from Hewlett Packard.
Mm-hmm.
In 1990, some engineers, including my father, spin off from Hewlett Packard and founded a software company. In the 90s, Hewlett Packard was not interested in the software. So we developed software with Hewlett Packard spectrum analyzers at that time. Now the world has become software, and software being the brain of many hardwares. And now that the software has not been more relevant these days. So in that regard, we continue to solve a lot of problems that our customers have with innovative solutions that we built. And we have built about 30 solutions over the last years. And also, we have multiple patents, as well as in the last 10 years, we have achieved winning 10 awards, including the prestigious SSPI Better Satellite Award as a company. So extremely proud.
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know that you guys spun out of Hewlett Packard, which is quite some interesting history, and it tells me a little bit about. I think it does. I think it tells me a little bit about the core identity of INTEGRASYS, namely, as you said, creating software solutions that enable the hardware, that make the hardware work well. Am I getting that correct?
Yes, the idea is that we can have a few modems, a few hubs, satellites, but if there are software that makes them even more intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
even more connected, more resilient, as well as being utilized in many ways, that will help business models to diversify, that will help set of government users to be more robust and secure, and will help um, many end users to achieve their goals and to solve different set of problems. So that's exactly what we do, whether it's in the signal intelligence front, whether it's in the connectivity front or in the Earth observation or space domain awareness front, where we have multiple sensors that are hardware and a big brain that is the software that
Mm-hmm.
understand those sensors, that it could be the eye of seeing with a Earth observation image, or it could be an ear that would be similar to a signal intelligence application. So with both sensors, you would achieve greater goals, similar to the human.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Well, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about capability, right? So the software is enabling this the various hardware systems to function more capably. What kinds of You ran off a lot of verticals, but what kinds of challenges do you find customers running into the most that you're situated well to solve?
So the recent Ukrainian Russia war
Mhm.
has been a big challenge, especially for Ukraine, the Russian jamming, as well as for NATO and other countries. So that's one of the biggest challenge we have seen. And some of our solutions tackle that from the geolocation standpoint to the mitigation standpoint, nulling those. So creating that spectrum superiority has become crucial. But also, many shipping companies have been disrupted by Iranian or German jamming,
Mhm.
spoofing. So another set of tools can tackle that in order to be able to position and navigate better, which is crucial for having a digital ship or having a more efficiency in those logistics routes. So it depends, the customer set, but solution wise, they suffer quite a bit, both. So we need to help them very fast and very efficient and effective.
Yeah. Um, well, let me just pause to say thank you for that. Thank you for, I think one of the hidden benefits of our industry is leveling the playing field, right? You need to be able to understand and see the whole battlefield and our industry enables that. And so I want to just thank you for enabling our allies in Ukraine to be able to push past some of the technological barriers being brought up in the war, including jamming technologies and the like. Yeah, that kind of hit me a little closely. So thank you for that.
And my much appreciated.
Yeah. So you guys just won this award. And again, congratulations on your Better Satellite World Award. Can you tell us just a little bit about just very little about CleanRF, because we'll have another opportunity to talk about it. But tell us a little bit about CleanRF and what problems is CleanRF designed to solve?
So it was designed to solve, let's say, unintentional interference,
Mm-hmm.
but then and it was created about 8 years ago for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But things and geopolitical instability change.
Yeah.
So today's is designed different set of uh, versions are designed, one for wideband, let's say a lot of data. Another version for UHF, that would be minima or LTAC or any narrowband application. So which will be the essential connectivity for the soldier. And another one is built for GPS or GNSS. So like
Mm-hmm.
protecting the navigation, positioning, and timing, regardless of a fix or a mobile platform. and it works uh, across position navigation and timing or alternative sources, regardless of the frequency. So that's a huge advantage. So those are the versions we have today and are designed really lightweight. And we are working on a better regularization of the hardware. So with partners in order to have more suitable for many applications. So from the military to the a commercial world in different set of versions.
Mm-hmm. You know, you're talking about the spectrum, RF spectrum, and I remember when this conversation started becoming such a big conversation in the industry. The concern, right? There was a legitimate concern that mobile applications, as they grew in dominance, would really render ineffective satellites because they'd interfere with the signal. And so there was a big war, right? Hey, we need this spectrum exclusive just for us. And I think that as the years have gone on, there's been just a big shift. Like, okay, well, maybe we don't have to have exclusive access. Maybe we can come up with other solutions. So I from what I'm hearing, CleanRF is part of that new solving the problem of interference without clearing the spectrum just for satellite. Am I hearing that correctly?
Well, you can clean wideband with other signals. So yes, it allows you to share spectrum. We have also worked in another tool that has been really welcome. That is a tool for regulating the current deployed constellations. So
Mm.
monitoring the that effect of LEOs into GEOs and seeing how both servers can can be shared within the same frequency, and what are the effects of this becoming greater with direct to device. That's in order to achieve connectivity with a smartphone,
Mm-hmm.
you need more power. So it is one of the solutions of the toolbox, CleanMF. But there are
Yeah.
many more that are coming and are being deployed. We deployed recently in Korea as well as in other places where we are helping regulators to regulate these new LEOs that they have promised to be good, but we need to behave too.
They promise to be good. It, I'm chuckling because they're so ubiquitous and they're so tiny, and they're so short-lived compared to, Álvaro, when you and I came into the industry, satellites were not. First of all, this small, and second of all, they have much longer lifespans. And I asked the question, and I don't know if this is something INTEGRASYS deals with, but how do you navigate, because the incentive for making something that's not as long lived be effective and behave well is pretty low. I mean, comparatively. Is that your sense? And how do you navigate that? And how do you help your customers navigate that?
So what we do is to listen to the customer and expand what their problem set is. So if it is something that they are being affected by frequencies coming from a LEO, track those
Mm-hmm.
LEOs, make sure that they don't collide with their own LEOs, that they are safe, that nothing happens around there, that they don't get interfered and follow the life cycle of the product. As you mentioned, Tamara, the life cycle of the industry has reduced
Mm-hmm.
from the traditional players and from the new players. The challenge is that before this regulatory product existed, there were no ways to verify the filing of the LEO constellations on the behavior of those. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important that the national regulatory bodies can regulate adequately with the right tools to in order to make sure that those filings that they have approved are performing as was promised. So
Mm,
that's one of the things we are doing, as well as tracking that those satellites are in the position that they need to be for those filings as well. So it's both crucial, or they don't transmit in countries that they are not allowed, because up to now it has been the wild, wild west, and not always is welcome in certain countries. So it's important to follow the rules and follow the filings obtained.
yeah.
You are listening to the Better Satellite World, the longest running continuous podcast in the commercial space and satellite industry. The Better Satellite World podcast is funded by the corporate partners of SSPI: Hughes, Access Intelligence, the American Space Exploration Fund, and Cuvia. Have you heard about SBQ? Space Business Qualified is a popular online learning program for industry professionals designed by JSOA, SSPI, and SatProf. To learn more, visit spacebq.org. And now back to the Better Satellite World.
Are when you talk about the rules and the filings, are those like the different national guidelines, or and have there been any effective regulations to kind of tame this wild wild west? Is the ITU um, regulatory bodies and others, are they actually streamlining the challenges, or is this really a commercial kind of, hey, case by case, country by country, let me give you the information so that you can enforce it yourself? How's this working?
So first of all, is ITU, who is
Mm-hmm.
regulating with particularly Article 21 and 22 for analyzing those filings in order to make sure that the new LEOs do not interfere much with the GEOs.
Mm-hmm.
But then it needs to be a national level that they need to monitor and regulate in operation. So that is starting to happen. But before last year, there were no systems deployed. Our system was the first deployed in South Korea to regulate those constellations. So it has been first the solution to the connectivity, but now the solution to the regulation. So I would say it has just started.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a fascinating moment, because like you say, the first of all, the technology is changing so aggressively, and the rate of change is so much faster than it used to be. It's quite the challenge for the regulators to stay on top. So I'm very grateful that there are commercial solutions to assist with the process. Let me shift gears. You've been in
Absolutely.
our universe for a little while. You know what I mean? First of all, you were on the 2022 honoree list for 20 under 35, um, and, and I had known you since before then, and was super proud of you to see you in that list.
Thank you.
Um, and and you've been with the Better Satellite World. You were our Santa a couple of years in a row, which we totally enjoyed that. Um, but this year you decided to take a much more active role with SSPI and have a deeper level of engagement. And I'm very grateful, but I want to know what drove that decision, and and what are you hoping for with engagement with SSPI?
So I believe that SSPI is a great organization to have a space professionals together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the industry um, uh, i- i- is in a moment of change. I think that many companies are consolidating. I think that if us professionals of the space industry do not work together, do not help each other, might be dominated by one company
Mm,
only. And I think is good to have available talent that is on demand by every company. I think that is good to create that teamwork that SSPI does. We have been very active in Luxembourg, for example, for a few years with SSPI as well. We have
Mm-hmm.
been active in the past in Mid Atlantic as well as in UK chapter from time to time. But we believe that it's a time that everyone needs to support each other, and it's a time that the challenges bring opportunities, and we have had in the industry three challenges. But in INTEGRASYS, I believe that we have channeled the opportunities and grow from it, diversify from it, and we're eager to work with the industry, and that's why we want to have a more relevant role within the SSPI.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, and so thank you. And I want to just tag on to that. I think today it's today that there's an article coming out with Sat News about that we are once again facing a drain of talent in the industry. Um, which is disheartening. It's always kind of the work that we have to do. It's what SSPI commits to, is making sure that our industry doesn't bleed talent, right? And so we have to recommit ourselves to that task. But first of all, have you seen that? Is that something that you're seeing in Europe, especially at this particular moment in the history of satellites in Europe, where there's such a focus on sovereignty? Are you seeing talent drain, and how can SSPI help? We want to be part of the conversation of making sure that we hold on to our talent, and we've made some efforts. But let me hear from you. What are some other ideas?
But one of the things that we did for keeping the talent is to diversify where we hire and be able to diversify the moments in time. I believe that there is a trend. Yes, there is a huge competition from engineers, engineering companies that they do software. In our case, AI. We do a lot of AI. So in that regard, yes, there is a drain, but we need to keep up with our universities. We need to keep our younger generations motivated. We need to engage. So we try to do internal day. We try to do sessions with the universities. We try to keep engaged, bring them to the SSPI World Teleper Association. So keep them engaged and show them why space is cool. Also, one of the things that there's big investments from Elon Musk, from Jeff Bezos, helps on explaining them that this is important, on making it cool. So now
Mm-hmm.
I would believe that they are our allies, bringing that ingenuity and coolness to the industry. But we need to take advantage of that and try to embrace and motivate the new generations that are less constant than the generations we had before.
Yeah.
They need recognition very often, which I believe we did not need in the past. So it's a new way of living, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things that, as we grow the 20 under 35 program, that we're really looking at is number one, as you mentioned, the generations are really different, right? The expectations of the workforce is different from generation to generation, but having a cross conversation, I think, matters, right? Having the younger generation being able to converse and share ideas with the prior generations of leadership matters, and access, I at least think it will help both transmit attitudes in both ways, right? That the younger generation can teach the older generation, and the older generation can teach the younger generation. But also, it just means that I belong to this community and I'm part of a legacy. At least I think so. I mean, you sit in a very different place, of course. As a young professional, you're also a CEO, which is not the norm. But do you find that cross generational experience valuable?
I believe so that multiple generations can complete or complement each other. So in that
Mm-hmm.
regard, yes, I find it valuable. Um, uh, but also I find that the newer generations ask even what they're gonna eat to ChatGPT. So in some occasions, the artificial intelligence doesn't have the answers, especially big questions for your life. So
Yeah.
I would say that um, older generations need to provide more guidance, and younger generations need to have more patience. So with those combination, will will create a good team. So the guidance of the older ones, while the energy of the younger ones, that creates a great bond, and that's what we try to do at Integrasys. We have people that have been 33 years with the company, and we have
Mm-hmm.
people that have been just hired from a university or from an embassy or from different places. So it's very rewarding seeing how each one has its role and each one has energy or experience to share with the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm chuckling at the idea of people asking ChatGPT what to eat, but at the same time, at the same time, that really is the universe we live in today. It's like, well, is this good to eat or not? And it's like, wow.
To
Um,
eat or to be employed. So if
yeah.
tomorrow SSPI managed to tell ChatGPT that the space is the best place, we will have a lot more talent in the space. Don't take me
I got
wrong,
to
but
convince
it's
you. You're right.
it,
I have to convince ChatGPT. You're absolutely right.
it,
Well, but let me ask you a question. So here's another one, right? So probably a lot of the drain is going to artificial intelligence, right? And also just a sense of insecurity because AI, there's a fear that AI is, eliminating jobs, and it is, right? And so what do we tell young people about what do we tell young people about a security in our industry, and especially because as you earlier mentioned, our industry is actually being incorporating AI more and more, and so that it's not a competition, right? There's opportunities to do both. But what do you tell young people about security of jobs in our industry?
what I can tell is that even software companies that do AI do not use AI to build those. So
Mm-hmm.
we use talent.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very simple reason. We don't build the standard. We build way above the standard.
Mm-hmm.
We build very innovative solutions that maybe NASA, maybe Space Force, maybe Space Command, or whoever needs to use. And it is not built for consumer. It is not built for everyone. It is not, again, it is not the standard. It is super premium.
Mm-hmm.
So super premium solutions will not be trained. We have we don't allow anyone to put anything within the AI. So in that regard, public AI. In that regard, we will not share. We will only create those models that we need to do for those users that they need to use.
Yeah.
But is not. Um, when let's say that at least for integracies, we don't plan in any moment in time to create with AI. So we won't replace our engineers. Our engineers will get smarter and smarter. And ideally, we won't train in any way those AI engines, because otherwise the company will not be relevant.
Yeah, 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 that makes a lot of sense. Well, Alvaro, I really appreciate you taking some time to be here with us. I want to ask you one last question. Just, again, welcome you into the SSPI corporate member family. What kinds of conversations and collaborations would you welcome with other SSPI members?
Well, many times it's about building a great solution together. So
Mm,
we are a fan of working with other members. We understand that they might be good putting things into space. They might be good doing hardware equipment. They might be good integrating. So we are the software layer, the glue between what it is in the space and the hardware and how we utilize.
yeah,
So the compensation we would like to embrace is how we work more competitive in the industry, how we bring solution to an end user, how we win together. So
yeah,
that's across chapters, across wise, and across industry players that have a role to play and are experts in few things. And I am not a believer of one company with this highly speed up world that we have that can do all and successfully. I
mhm,
believe that the world changed much, and we need partners to change in a speed of relevance manner for solutions that users need.
yeah. Thank you for that. I highly endorse that we win together. Thank you for that. All right, this podcast is made possible by the support of SSPI's professional, student, and corporate members. We are especially grateful for our corporate partners, Access Intelligence, producers of Via Satellite Magazine and SAT Show 2026, which hope to see you there. The law firm of Clyde and Company, Hughes and EchoStar Company, and the American Space Exploration Fund, and Qvia, who is one of our executive sponsors, along with Hughes, for the upcoming Night of Excellence, which will be March 24, 2026, where we'll get to honor new members up to 20 under 35 and the latest inductees to the Space and Satellite Hall of Fame. To learn more about SSPI and our Space and Satellite Futures work, visit sspi.org and follow us on LinkedIn and on X. New episodes of the SSPI podcast, including Better Satellite World, Space and Satellite Futures, and She Reaches Women in Space, are released every Monday. You can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is SSPI Video, all one word. For Space and Satellite Professionals International and for our producer, Ari Yates, I'm Tamara Bond-Williams. And for the people and companies building a space and satellite future worthy of our highest aspirations, thank you for all you do.